What if I told you that breaking a mirror wasn't just bad luck? That it could open a doorway to something far darker, something that could consume your very soul? This is a story of terror, obsession, and a mirror that was far more than it seemed. Emily was always drawn to the strange and mysterious. Her apartment was like a museum of the macabre dolls with empty, cracked eyes, paintings that seemed alive, and books with pages filled with cryptic, unsettling words. But nothing compared to the day she brought home an ornate, cracked mirror she found in a dusty corner of an old antique shop. The mirror was beautiful in its way, its golden frame intricately carved with vines and serpents, wrapping around each other like a sinister embrace. The glass was fractured, a jagged crack running through it, creating a warped reflection that was almost hypnotic. Emily called it the Mirror of Echoes. At first, it was just another piece of decor, a conversation starter for her friends. But almost immediately, the mirror's true nature began to show itself. It began subtly faint noises in the middle of the night, like whispers carried on a breeze. Emily would glance at the mirror, feeling an inexplicable urge to look closer. Sometimes she thought she saw movement in its surface, shadows shifting behind her, fleeting images of places she'd never been. The vision started to become clearer. One evening, as she stared into the mirror, Emily saw a dense forest, its trees tall and twisted, their branches clawing at the sky. Another time, she saw a crumbling mansion bathed in moonlight, its broken windows like hollow eyes staring into her soul. And then came the figures. One night, Emily swore she saw a woman standing in the mirror. Her face was pale and gaunt, her eyes like black pits. The woman seemed to mouth something, her lips moving soundlessly before she vanished. Things escalated quickly. Emily woke up one night to find the mirror glowing with an eerie, cold light. Shadows danced on her walls, twisting and writhing like living creatures. She froze as she saw a tall, shadowy figure standing in the glass, its glowing eyes locked onto hers. She turned around, but no one was there. Yet, when she looked back at the mirror, the figure remained, watching her, waiting. Terrified but unable to part with the mirror, Emily began to investigate. She scoured libraries, archives, and forums, piecing together the mirror's dark history. The mirror, she discovered, had once belonged to a woman named Elizabeth, a recluse who had dabbled in forbidden rituals. Elizabeth was said to have used the mirror to commune with the dead, but something had gone horribly wrong. One stormy night, neighbors heard screams from her mansion. When they went to check, they found the house abandoned. Elizabeth was never seen again, and the mirror was the only thing left behind. Local legends claimed her soul had become trapped in the glass, bound by an ancient curse. Emily's obsession with the mirror grew. The visions became more frequent, more vivid. She saw glimpses of people trapped in a dark, endless void, faces contorted in silent screams, hands clawing at invisible barriers. Worst of all, she began to see her own reflection change. Sometimes, her eyes would appear black as coal. Other times, her face would twist into an expression of terror she couldn't control. It was as though the mirror was consuming her piece by piece. Emily's final days were a blur of fear and desperation. She became convinced that the mirror was more than a cursed object, it was a portal to another realm, a place where the living and the dead were trapped together in eternal torment. One evening, she called me, her voice shaking. "I think I've seen it," she whispered. "The other side? It's calling me. I can feel it pulling me in." And then she was gone. When I went to her apartment, it was empty. The mirror lay shattered on the floor, its shards glinting like frozen tears. But as I looked closer, I saw something that made my blood run cold. In the largest shard, I saw Emily's face, her eyes wide with terror, her mouth open in a silent scream. Emily never came back. Some say she's trapped in that other realm, a prisoner of the mirror's curse. Others say she went mad, unable to escape the horror she'd unleashed. But I know the truth. The mirror wasn't just a reflection. It was a gateway, a bridge between our world and something far darker. And as I write this, I can't shake the feeling that it's not over. Because sometimes when I pass by a mirror, I see her face staring back at me. And I wonder what if the mirror is still out there, waiting for its next victim. If you've ever looked into a mirror and felt like something was watching you from the other side, don't ignore it. Because once the abyss sees you, it never lets you go.